Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Strawberry Hill Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Simmons, and as always, we're here at the Shop Cigar Lounge. I wanted to give a big shout out before I get started to everyone that's always showed me support and gotten a couple of awards. I just want to say thank you for everyone that comes down here and shows support. I appreciate you guys. Before we get started, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at Strawberry Hill Podcast. And today, as you can see, I don't always wear my jersey. Normally I wear my jersey on game days, but today's a special day. And of course, you know, not only do I got to rep the Chiefs, but we have former Chiefs player, director of the Chiefs ambassador and radio or in voice of the Chiefs, Danan Hughes.
What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? How are you?
Doing all right. Good to be here.
Yeah.
Glad you guys invited me. This is an incredible spot you got here at the shop. I've been passing the word around to as many people as I could.
Yeah.
Come on out here. Nice vibe, smooth environment. Get to shoot some pool, watch some sports.
There you go.
Smoke some stogies.
Yeah,
That's what it's all about.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah, we just kind of met at a golf tournament and then came in, and I was like, bro, you got to come on.
Yes.
Like, I know you do your show and you do everything for the Chiefs, and I was like, I got to try to get you in mine now.
Good to be here, man.
So how's everything been?
Going well. Chiefs are winning. They seem like they've kind of turned the corner in regards to production on the field. We're going to have Rashee Rice back.
Yes, that's huge.
Yeah, a lot's going well, man. I can't complain.
Yeah. So going to that, so the Chiefs, like they're 3-3, right? So what do you think? Kind of like they've been so like. I guess what my question is like, do you think they finally turned it on because they looked good after the Giants game?
Yeah.
So the Baltimore game, they looked good, seemed like they had it. In the Jaguars game, their offense looked good, but they just committed way too many penalties.
Yeah, I think it's been up and down, but I think if once we recognize and we got the word and the hammer was dropped in regards to Rashee Rice and his suspension, you go back to training camp, preseason, with the unsureness of that, and then you look at our schedule and you say, you know what? Xavier Worthy's going to be hurt on the third play of the game, the first game. Rashee Rice is going to have his 6-game suspension. You see who you're playing in the first 6 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
With those two things being on the table, what do you think this team is going to do? I think most people probably would say 4-2.
Yeah.
And yet we kind of wet the bed in regards to the Jaguars game. That's the one game that I think we'll look back on and be like, dang.
And we should have won. Because like you said, like we really should be 4-2.
Yeah.
I mean, and then.
But that's the same thing around the NFL. If I said, you know what, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase is going to be lost for the 4 of the first 5 games, or one of them is going to be lost for 6 games, what would their record be?
Yeah.
Probably they'd be 0 for now, especially when they lost Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
So I feel like we got to recognize in the NFL, yes, it's next man up. Yes, the depth chart is real. Yes, everybody can play. We've seen that from Tyquan Thornton, a guy that you can plug in and play. Juju Smith-Schuster still has some gas left in his tank. But it's different when you don't have your top 2 guys. And to be 3-3 now, and the dynamic of we're 3-3, we're a Super Bowl favorite in Vegas.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is 3-3, and he's an MVP favorite in Vegas. It tells you about where the sky is, where the ceiling is going to be for this team.
Yeah, and I think that like there's like in the NFL, not that there's parity, but it's like there hasn't truly, like everyone thought that Buffalo and Baltimore and Philly were going to be like the powerhouses, and then now you're seeing that everyone's on a a level playing field, so it's up for anyone's grab. And then now it looks like the Chiefs are, they're starting to get their stuff together. And I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I truly believe that this offense, like this receiving core, is probably, in my opinion, probably the best that Pat has ever had.
Yeah.
Because he's had, Tyreek and he had Kelsey in their prime. Yeah, but
Sammy
it was
Watkins.
like he didn't have as many options as he does now. Because it's like now that Rashee's back and you got Worthy and you got Hollywood, like where are you going to – you still got Juju, you still got Tyquan or Thornton, and you got Kelsey and you got Noah Gray. It's like you got so many options. It's just – run and gun, it looks like.
Absolutely. I mean, because of the way the Legion of Zoom burst on the scene when you had Tyreek and you had Sammy Watkins and McCole Hardman, and how that offense moved with Williams in the backfield, like that was special. But even Andy Reid spoke about this team and this wide receiving core before the season. He said this is the best wide receiver core. So that was something he said.
Yeah.
So with his knowledge and understanding of this team and his history and his resume, for him to say that about this team tells you a lot about the capabilities that this wide receiving crew has. Now, there's only one football, right?
Yeah, we got to keep everybody happy.
It's kind of like an all-star game in the NBA. Like there's only one basketball on the court. You can have a whole bunch of stars, but you got to figure out how to get these guys the ball.
Yeah.
The other component is not being too creative, not being too cute. Like in trying to get them the ball. And now you're messing up the continuity, and Patrick is now maybe feeling some pressures that he hadn't felt before where, it's the second quarter. Travis Kelce hasn't gotten.
I gotta throw him a ball.
I gotta throw him the ball. Now what happens with the offense and what happens with him trying to force the ball, like we saw against the Jacksonville Jaguars, trying to force the ball into Travis at the goal line. Next thing you know, it's 99 yards the other way.
Philly. I guess both.
Well, Philly, that was a catchable pass. Travis should have had that. But
like Jacksonville,
the Jacksonville Devin Lloyd interception return, that's a forced throw. So I feel like you got to be, like my father always says, things that'll make you laugh or make you cry, you got to be careful. Just got to be careful. But I like the potential, and I like the edge that this team has in regards to Rashee Rice coming back. Like he's got something to prove. He was one of the best receivers in the league up until his injury, and putting up those kind of numbers. And now he's got to be next to Xavier Worthy, and he's got to be next to Hollywood, and Juju is being that dependable kind of guy as well. So it's going to be interesting. There's going to be some growing pains. I don't expect it to be perfect, but I'd like our problems. I guess you could say that.
I would take our problems over anybody else's.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So take me back in, I guess, where did your football journey begin? So you grew up in New Jersey, right?
Born and raised in Jersey.
Yep. And
5 minutes from New York City. Played all baseball, basketball, football. Not many people know that baseball is my first love. It's my number one thing still to this day. I grew up as a baseball player, and since there was no fall baseball, I had to play like all my friends were playing football, and my parents wouldn't let me stay in the house. So it was like,
get out of the house and do something.
While sunlight out, you got to go do something. And I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and play football. And that's how I started playing football. But baseball was still always number one. I was recruited to play at Nebraska, Iowa, and then all the East Coast schools, Penn State, Syracuse, Maryland, Rutgers, and Boston College. And I decided that I wanted to go away from home. I wanted to be on my own. I didn't want to have the luxury of driving an hour or 2 hours and get home, because I was hanging out a lot. I grew up 5 minutes from New York City, and it was like, that's not the life that's going to be conducive to success.
Right.
I at least had that much smarts. I didn't have a whole bunch of smarts, but I had that much. And so Iowa recruited me, and the one condition I had was they had to let me, whatever school I went to, they had to let me play baseball. And Iowa, Hayden Fry came in my living room with his cowboy boots on.
Legendary coach, Hayden Fry.
And I said, he sat there with my parents on my couch in my living room, and I said, I'll entertain coming to Iowa as long as you commit to let me play baseball. And he said, as long as your grades are up, as long as you're not sitting the bench in baseball, you can play. And one of the biggest, in the day and ages of salesmen, and we're sitting here, we're watching Nick Saban on TV. We see the coaches, the Urban Meyers, and all these other coaches that are salesmen. Like they go into your living room, they go into your kid's living room, and they sell their program, they sell their school. And a lot of times it's not necessarily the truth. Right? It's sales. And so the biggest kudos, the biggest tip of the cap I could give to Hayden Fry is that what he told me and my parents, he lived up to.
Really?
It was all true. I kept my grades up. He let me go play baseball. And I have no regrets. It was the best decision I ever made in regards to my my own personal life outside of family and marriage.
Yeah.
My own personal life, the best decision was leaving Jersey and going to Iowa.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's because that had to be like a
culture shock.
I was just about to say that. Yeah. Because you going from, the big city, New York, and you're going in the middle of Iowa.
Yeah. I always tell the story of my recruiting trip. First, it was the first time I was ever on a plane. If you've ever been to Iowa, Cedar Rapids Airport is literally in the middle of cornfields. And I got off the plane. They didn't have a big terminal back then. So you got off the plane on the tarmac and walked into the terminal from the tarmac. And I remember getting off the plane, like, where are all the buildings? Where am I? Where'd you guys drop me off at? And the caravan for all the recruits was there, and they said, we're going to take you to wrestling. And I was like, what are we going to see? WWF, like Hulk Hogan? Because I grew up in Jersey.
That's
it's not wrestling is not a big thing. And they said, don't worry about it. Just get in the van. So I got in the van with a bunch of other recruits. We go to Carver Hawkeye Arena, walk in, 16,000 people
wrestling
in the arena for wrestling. It came down to the heavyweight match. Iowa had the pin to win. The guy got the pin. The place erupted. Like, I had never heard anything like this in my life. Never been to a sporting event. I've been to a couple of Mets games. Never went to a Giants game or Jets game. Just didn't go to Knicks games. But so this was brand new. Like, this place erupted over a wrestling match.
Yeah.
Come to find out, it was number 1 Iowa versus number 2 Iowa State. I didn't even know about this rivalry and these two schools being an hour and a half away from each other. And I was sold right then. I was like, this is the environment I want to be in. And I remember sitting next to a recruit and saying, if they go crazy for wrestling like this,
what's it going to be like in football?
For football, I can only imagine what it is for football. And I was sold. And I got to meet the baseball coach, Coach Fry. My a lot of people don't realize, I'm dating myself here, but a lot of people don't realize my offensive coordinator was Bill Snyder.
I guess that was right. Yeah,
yes.
I forgot he came from Iowa.
He came from
I'm
Iowa.
a K-State guy.
Oh, yeah. So Bill Snyder, Sean Snyder was my classmate. And so I got indoctrinated into college football by
the
greats.
right person.
Yeah, Hayden
Bill
Fry
Snyder.
and Bill Snyder.
Yeah.
Like, how much better could you get? And so that was where I molded into a football player. Before, I always referenced that I was a baseball player who played football. I was an athlete who happened to play football. I was an athlete who happened to play baseball. But once I got to Iowa and I allowed those coaches to fine-tune me, then I became a football player and I became a baseball player that happened to be an athlete. And there's definitely a difference. And that's how it sparked my career and got me an opportunity to play 2 sports professionally.
Yeah. So what made you, I guess, because you got drafted by the Chiefs and the Brewers, right?
So I was drafted by the Padres first. I turned it down, went back for another year. The next year I was drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers as a junior in college in the 3rd round. Still to this day, I am the highest drafted position player in Iowa since 1990.
Really?
So they've had some pitchers. They've had some other position guys that have gone on to play in the big leagues. Definitely some pitchers, but no position player has been drafted higher than me in the 3rd round since 1991. And I was drafted with Derek Jeter, Jason Giambi, that 92 class, Jeff Hammonds, a lot of great players, obviously. But the stipulation with me signing with the Brewers was they had to allow me to go back and play my senior year of football. So I signed with the Brewers, played that summer, went back, played my senior year of football, then went back to baseball, and then the Chiefs drafted me the next year. So and that was the biggest decision I ever had to make in my life, to give up baseball.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like, what was that decision like?
Yeah, it was tough because, like I said, baseball is my first love still to this day. But I felt like when the Chiefs drafted me, they drafted me in the 7th round. I was supposed to be a 2nd round pick, but I broke my foot at the Hula Bowl. And that, in addition to me playing professional baseball, had me slide down the draft list. And I got a little chip on my shoulder because of that. I wanted to prove everybody that I belonged in the NFL. So because I didn't have the bargaining power of a top pick like a Kyler Murray or like Deion Sanders or Bo Jackson. I had to pick one.
Yeah.
And at the time I said, if I don't go to football and try, I'll never have a chance to go back.
Yeah.
If I go to football and try and I fail, I can go back to baseball, but vice versa wouldn't happen. So I rolled the dice. And 6 years later, in the NFL, 4 years as a captain, playing on multiple, playing in the AFC Championship my rookie year, and multiple 13-3 teams, and having the successes I had. By the time I was done, my body was a little broken down, and there was no way I could go back to playing minor league baseball.
Do you have any regrets choosing football over baseball?
I've been asked that question a lot, and I would say I don't have any regrets, because for me it'd be ignorant to say 6 years in the NFL you regret something about another sport. I just wonder.
Yeah.
Like I played with guys in the minors, guys that were drafted after me that got a chance to play in the major leagues, and I feel like I never played a full year of baseball.
Yeah.
And I still was able to accomplish what I was able to accomplish. So if I would have had 2 years or 3 years of playing all year long, going over and playing in the Dominican Republic and playing fall baseball and staying out in Arizona and extended spring and just being focused on baseball, what that capabilities would have been.
Yeah.
So I just wonder, but I don't have any regrets.
And I remember we were talking last time you were here. It's like the baseball dynamic when you get drafted is like, it ain't like football where you're straight into the league.
Yeah.
Like baseball, like they take their time with you and they groom you and they get you.
It takes years.
Takes years.
Some people have a career in the minors. Some, only a small percentage of people make it to the majors that get drafted. And back then, the draft prior to COVID, like COVID made them reduce the draft for Major League Baseball. But prior to that, back in the 90s, there were 60 rounds, 70 rounds.
That's ridiculous.
Of draft picks. So you were always in competition with high schoolers, college guys, grown-ups that were still in the minors. So you were trying to climb the ladder, and for some guys, they never made it.
Yeah. So take me back to draft day when you get drafted in the 7th round. What was that like?
It was the worst day of my life. Most miserable day of my life.
Why is that?
It was, the year before, I was a 3rd round pick in baseball, which was day one, the first few hours of the draft. So I had that experience. We had a party at my house. My parents were there. We had a party afterwards. And then to go the next year after having the successes I had in football and having to wait day one go by, expecting to be a 2nd round pick. 3rd round goes by, 4th round goes by, 5th round goes by, and now waiting on the 7th round, not knowing if you're going to get drafted. I believe there were only 8 rounds that year. So you're almost at the end of the rope. So it was a miserable experience. And we've seen like the Aaron Rodgers sitting at the table waiting. We've seen those pictures of guys on draft day. We experienced Shedeur Sanders this year sitting at home with all of his family and friends there. That's how it was amplified to me. So it was the worst experience, but I think it ignited something in me where now I got something to prove. I got to go out and showcase to, at that time, it was only 30 teams in the NFL. Got to showcase to all 29 other teams what they missed. And find my niche, find my role in the NFL.
Did you know that you were going to the Chiefs? Did they
No.
Oh, really?
I had multiple interviews with all teams. I did realize that Marty liked me. He liked big physical receivers. I had a good interview with them at the Combine, but nothing after that. So I had no clue who I was a favorite of or whose board I was on. It was just kind of a crapshoot.
Really?
Yeah.
So what was it like? You talked about Marty. So you get drafted by the Chiefs and Marty's there. And then now you got to play for Marty.
Yeah.
And Marty is, I grew up. That was like my first Chiefs teams I remember. Like I was born in '86, but like I really remember the Marty team. That's when I was actually like able to really pay attention to football. And that was an intense man.
Yes, it was. But that's the kind of coaches I liked. I didn't like the quiet coaches that whispered behind the scenes or, mumbled about you to other players or coaches. Like, tell me how you feel. And say it with your chest. And then because my mindset was, if you're quiet and I make you shut up, that means I'm doing something.
Yeah.
And so I took that as a challenge. But playing for Marty, now I had broke my foot before the draft. The way the draft went was the week coming up for the draft. So this is Sunday before the draft. The draft is on Friday.
Yeah.
My foot is still broken. They thought it was going to heal on its own. It's still cracked. I have to hustle between Sunday and Thursday to get a doctor to do surgery on my foot. Then I have to fax. There wasn't any cell phones. Have to fax all 30 teams the results of the surgery so that a wide receiver who needs to have a healthy foot will have a healthy surgery, and that you can now put me back on your draft boards. So that whole week was a kind of a whirlwind of things happening. I found a doctor in New York, flew back home to Jersey, got the doctor to do the surgery, sent everything out. My agent did all of that, and then I was available. And Marty drafted me, and literally the next week we had minicamp. I'm still on crutches. So I didn't practice at all through minicamp, OTAs, until part of the way through training camp. I think Marty liked that I was tough. I always tell people there were 2 reasons that I made the team. I got in a fight with Dale Carter during training camp, and I had one play against the Patriots in the last preseason game where I ran a reverse, and I ran it for like 40-something yards. And I think those 2 plays were what cemented me on the team. He liked that I wasn't backing down from Dale.
Yeah, the
and then
vet.
He was a vet. And
hopefully you weren't on crutches then.
no, I was in practice. It was in practice. We got to tussling in training camp, and I didn't back down. And I think that kind of said something to Marty about my willingness and my toughness, I guess. And then having the one opportunity to make a play, and I made it. And then I was on practice squad for part of the year, and I got my first dose of NFL play, Monday Night Football, here at Arrowhead against the Buffalo Bills. I believe it was like week 10 of the season, and I was punt returning in that game.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, like, what was your first game like?
Yeah, so I never punt returned in my life.
Never?
Ever punt returned in my life. And Fred Jones gets hurt. Dale Carter was a punt returner. And Marty comes up to me and is like, hey, can you punt return? Guess what my answer is? Yes, of course I can.
You ain't gonna
I'll
say
figure
no.
it out.
Yeah.
And the reason why I was able to be successful at punt returning is because I was a center fielder and I knew how to judge the ball. So every time the ball would be punted, I would treat it like I was on the baseball field, and I would turn to the side, judge the ball. If it was spinning this way, it was going to drop. If it was spinning this way, it was going to go back deeper. So you just read it, and I used my brain. I had good hands, and I made it happen. And I got a chance on Monday Night Football to return punts at Arrowhead Stadium. And it takes a lot for a coach to have that kind of confidence in you to thrust you into that position. And I feel like I worked my way into that by my work ethic while I was on practice squad and taking advantage. Like we've seen this with Tyquan Thornton this year. We've seen it with other guys in past years. Take advantage of your opportunity when it presents itself. Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, you can go through the list. Heck, this past week, Jalen Moore with Josh Simmons being out. Take advantage of your opportunity. Be ready for it. I know my man Sean Barber always says, you don't got to get ready, just got to stay ready. And that was kind of my mindset.
Yeah. So did you play with Montana?
Yep. Played 2 years with Joe. The free agents that came into the Chiefs in '93 were Joe Montana and Marcus Allen. I was drafted with Will Shields. So unbeknownst to me, I knew about Marcus and Joe. Didn't know much about the rest of the team because I didn't follow the Chiefs. But to look back and say, you know what, I played with
some Hall of Famers.
I want to say there's 7 Hall of Famers that I played with
That's crazy.
throughout my career, and it was all here in Kansas City.
So who were some of the best players you played with?
Oh, man. The best player I ever played with was Dale Carter. By far a freak of nature. The best DB I ever played against was him. Physical, long, athletic. He was as fast as he needed to be. I don't know if he still knows how fast he is, just as fast as he needed to be. And just a great competitor. Obviously playing with Joe and Marcus and Andre Rison and just there's Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah.
I played 2 years with Tony when he was drafted here. So, not many people realize the last stint in the NFL for Ronnie Lott was with Kansas City. So I played with him for a preseason before he retired. Just a lot of great players, a lot of great talent.
So how long did you play in the league? 7 years?
6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good. And that still is that's a long career in the
6
NFL.
years in the NFL, all here in Kansas City. I did have a stint at the end of my career where I went as a free agent to New Orleans. Got released right before the season, and that's when I retired in 1999.
So how was that decision like? Like you were just like, just to retire?
It was tough. Very tough. Because, you're giving up something that it's your dream.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the fans that are out there need to recognize, I wasn't even 29 years old yet, and I'm retiring from a career that I had worked my entire life for. So, sometimes when you criticize some of these young guys and the NFL players or professional athletes in general, just recognize, you probably got kids that are 20s.
Yeah, they're young. Yeah.
It's young. And now you're starting the next phase of your life while all of your counterparts, your age group, the people you graduated high school and college with,
Probably already got a career.
already established in their career. So you're basically like an intern starting out of college. Not the only thing, but one of the main things that you have is you've had money. Maybe you bought a house. Maybe you don't have a car loan or anything like that. But other than that, you are starting fresh at fill-in-the-blank company, corporation, profession, just like a college graduate. And that's humbling. Your ego has to be put aside. Then also you have to realize, oh, by the way, I'm married with 4 kids. And
now I got to
there's no more professional athlete checks. And now I got to figure out this whole budget of life and way of life and cost of living and all of the different things that every adult goes through. But no adult starts that at 28 years old.
So did you know what you wanted to do when you got out?
I did not. When I prayed with my wife in New Orleans when I got released, and I said it's time for me to be done with football. I called my agent and I said, "Hey, it's been great working with you. Don't call me again." I literally said that, and I said, I don't want to be tempted. I feel like
I'm done.
The chapter's over. I don't want to be called and be on somebody's team for 2 weeks and bounce around. My kids were of school age, and it was just time. And so we moved back to Kansas City from New Orleans, moved back into the house we were living in. It didn't sell yet, so that was a blessing.
Even better, yeah.
And I called the Chiefs, and I said, "Hey, I'm done playing football. Do you have anybody I can talk to about a career?" So I'm not really looking for a job. I'm looking for a career. And they put me in contact with somebody at Bank of America at the time and introduced me to the home mortgage business. And I've been in the business for 23 years, still in this business now.
I didn't know you were still doing that.
Yeah, I'm with Community America Credit Union, and it's been awesome to be there for over 2 years now. I was with U.S. Bank for 18 years and producing loans, home loans, residential loans all over the country. And now I kind of tightened it back up to the Kansas and Missouri area with Community America. But it's been a great profession for me. I am a strong endorser of home ownership. And it was great to be able to transition into that career from football. But then also I graduated in broadcasting. And
You graduated broadcasting from Iowa?
From Iowa.
So you kind of knew that you're like,
well, the one thing I didn't know what I did want to do, but what I did, again, a little bit of common sense that I did have, what don't I mind doing?
Yeah.
What do I feel comfortable doing? So with the University of Iowa, there's no professional sports. So I'm getting interviewed a lot because we won the Big Ten in baseball, went to the college regionals, World Series. We won the Big Ten in football, went to the Rose Bowl. We had the great seasons, 10-1 my junior year. We went to bowl games just about every year I was there. So you're getting constantly interviewed all the time, two-sport athlete, being drafted in both sports. And I'm like, hey, I'm kind of comfortable in front of a camera. I'm kind of comfortable in front of, as you can tell, I'm kind of comfortable in front of a microphone. And so that kind of propelled me towards the broadcasting.
Yeah.
And so when I was done, Metro Sports here in Kansas City called me and was like, hey, would you mind being an analyst? And that's how I got started. I started doing high school games, Pop Warner games, high school baseball, basketball, high school basketball, and just kind of climbed the ladder. 610 Sports, which is now Odyssey, and 96.5 called me to be to be involved with their broadcast, their radio broadcast. When they had guys that were going on vacation, they would call me in to sub. So I was an analyst in studio for that. Then just kind of kept climbing, and that's kind of where I got that other career outside of home mortgage, was being a broadcast analyst for college sports and professional sports.
That's awesome. And going back to the Chiefs, like, for you to be able to call them and, say, hey, like, I want to get in the professional field, I want to do something, for them to actually call somebody else to reach out, like, that's huge in the organization, because I'm sure a lot of organizations don't do that for
I'm sure too, but I always say this, and this is a message that I've sent. I spoke at the NFL symposiums in the past and get a chance to speak to a lot of young players, young athletes. It's a perfect example of never burning bridges. You never know.
Never burn a bridge. Never know who
you're gonna need, who's gonna be able to assist you, who you're gonna be able to assist. And part of the reason why I've been embraced in Kansas City, one, I wasn't a jerk to the media, even during the times where Jason Whitlock was here and causing stirs, and and other guys were getting in fights with him and arguing with him in the locker room. And when guys would turn down interviews, I would be available. And those are the guys from Metro Sports, from 610, from the various other news outlets, KSHB. I do segments with them every week for NBC. I did for KCTV5. And Neil was a guy that was great with me when he was on the radio and with television as well. So it's kind of one of those deals where I can look back literally and see how I got to this point. Like, I can see I treated that person right. I treated that person with respect. I was available for these people when the other stars were saying no comment, and walking away from interviews. I was available. And Michael Carter with, Hot 103. I had a radio show while I was playing with Derek Thomas. He used to have the Chiefs Hour, and he decided to step away from it, and Donnell Bennett and I took it over. So that was my first 2 years in the broadcasting world and being on air every Monday night during the football season. So look back and see, man, there were times God was working when I didn't realize he was. And the blessing it was for me to be myself, and then see how that would be able to impact the rest of my life.
And then I think in 2020 is when the Chiefs said, hey, come up to the booth with Mitch. So what was that like? So
people ask me, is that a dream come true? And I said no. Because I would have never thought it was going to be possible. I was thinking Len Dawson was going to live forever. And I always listened to the broadcast. So even when I was at the game as a Chiefs ambassador, I had a little earpiece in. I think people probably thought I was security or something. I had a little earpiece in and my transistor radio in my pocket, and I was doing pregame and postgame shows. So I would do a pregame show, then I would go to the stadium and watch the game. Then I would leave at the fourth quarter to get back to the studio to do the postgame show. But I felt like if I'm at the game, I can't hear what's happening. I don't hear the sound. I'm watching the game in the stands, and I need to hear who's got injured, what's happening, all the different things. So I would tune in to Mitch and Len and Kendall Gammon and Gretz and those guys on the broadcast all of those years. So I had an affinity for the broadcast, for the radio broadcast. I had a respect for it. So 2020 comes. It's COVID. They're making a change. They're going over from 810 to 610. At the time, it was Entercom. And they call me and they say, hey, are you interested? Yes, I'm interested.
Yes.
And it was a huge blessing, has been a huge blessing. This is my 6th year in the booth. Everybody wants to give Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce the credit for the Super Bowls, but, like, I was in the booth, so I feel like I deserve.
I got there and they start winning.
Yeah, I know. Like, give props where it's due. But no, Kendall actually was the one that brought the first Super Bowl, so I got to give him props. Kendall Gammon was the analyst for that first Super Bowl in Miami. But being in the booth 6 years, having my own radio show on 96.5 The Fan, and every Thursday night, Players Only, 6 years doing that as well. So I've kind of carved a niche for myself, and it's been a huge blessing.
Yeah, that's awesome. What is it like working with Mitch? Because he's a great that iconic.
Mitch is the best in the business, absolutely the best, and that's not me saying it from a bias standpoint. I've actually listened to other broadcasts, and it's not to throw shade on those guys, but when you look at how Mitch handles the game, and I remember during COVID, we actually did all the games from Arrowhead Stadium, home and away.
Really?
We didn't travel. And
so you just watched it on the screen?
We sat in the booth at Arrowhead, and they were playing in, I remember the opener was against the Chargers.
Yeah.
And they were out in, I believe they were in L.A. by then, but they were out in L.A., and we were in the booth with 3 big screen TVs calling the game as if we were in L.A.
Wild.
We didn't tell people that we were at the game, but we did not tell them that we were at the game. And the NFL sent out a memo and gave us praise for our broadcast, because when you would listen to other broadcasts, they would say stuff like, man, I wish we were there on site, and this is so weird not being in the stadium. And it's like the listeners, the fans don't need to know that.
No.
Like, you're there calling the game. And how we were like, oh, let's toss to the sideline and Josh Klinger, and Josh would be over there, right next to us at the watching another TV. And so that whole dynamic was cool. It was obviously a weird experience, but the professionalism of Mitch, the energy. I always tell people, what you see and what you hear of Mitch is real. It's genuine. It's not manufactured. It's not practiced. The energy that he brings it every single game.
Yeah.
And if you're able to click on some of the Chiefs.com clips of us in the booth, or if you look at it on Twitter, you'll see me standing there. And people are like I get kids that I coached in baseball that will text me and like, don't you have a pulse? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, Mitch is throwing air punches.
Yeah,
and
he's
I'm just standing there with my hands in my pocket, and I'm like, could you imagine both of us being that? And like, we tear this booth up. We throw computers and monitors all over the place. So I said, I got to be the straight man. So he does all his thing, and he has all that energy, and then I compliment that. But when they asked me to be on the broadcast, or they were trying me out, we had an automatic synergy. Like we can play off each other well. If you listen to our broadcast, you very rarely, if ever, hear us talk over each other.
Never. Yeah.
We kind of have a vibe. I know when he's about to end his thought, and I know when I can step in, and I know when I'm supposed to end my whatever verbiage I'm bringing. When he steps back in.
So I take it y'all didn't even they didn't practice.
We
really.
never practiced.
They just threw you in there and said, "How do you work?"
So the tryout was, I think they had already made their decision, but they just wanted to see us. They called Dan Israel, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Was the executive producer. He said he had a studio in his basement. And he said, hey, I want to see how you and Mitch work together, and Josh, come to my house. We're going to do a game. So I'm thinking, okay, we'll do a game. It was the off season. So I'm waiting for him to send me the game so I can do some research and get some information put together. He purposely doesn't send us the game. So I get to his studio and like, hey, maybe I missed an email or something. Is there, what game are we doing? We're just doing a flashback to 2019. He said, well, we're going to do the Tennessee Titans game. So I had to think in my head, okay, what do I remember about this game? It was the last game we lost.
Yeah.
It was the game that Patrick Mahomes came back after his knee injury. and
the jump pass. To
no,
McCole Harbin, right?
No, this was the game in Tennessee where we whiffed on 4th and 2 to seal the game.
Oh, yeah.
And we missed the field goal,
Yeah,
and then they wind up beating us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think it might have been overtime, or at least maybe last second. It was definitely overtime. And Derrick Henry had a big game.
Yeah.
And so I had to bring it all into my head, and then they put it up on the television, gave us the microphone, and said, go. So Mitch is talking, and I'm just complimenting his talk, and I'm doing my thing and seeing what I see on the screen and relaying it. And if you think about the dynamic of the radio broadcast, different than television, the radio broadcast, I have about 12 seconds to say what I got to say before every play.
Yep.
Mitch has
you ain't got much time at all.
Because you don't see the action. So Mitch has to tell you 3rd down and 8, Travis Kelce in motion, because all of that is not seen. While on television broadcasts, they don't say that.
Yeah, because you can see it all.
Because you can see it all. So there's only but a window of time where I have to be able to say what I have to say. He has to be able to say what he has to say, because then he has to tell you what's actually happening during the play. And then I have to tell you, okay, what just happened in the play. And I have to paint the color. That's a color analyst, paint the color. So we had an automatic synergy during that time. I could see the faces of Dan and Eric and other guys that were there. Like, oh, like this is how this is working, this 1-2 punch. And from then, we went on, and the rest is history.
Well, you guys are fantastic.
Thank you.
I listen. If I'm not at the game or watching the game on TV, I'm listening to it on the radio.
Yeah.
I mean, like, just one of the three, and I absolutely love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys got good, like you said, good synergy and everything. And I was going to ask because I always watch the clips of, like, in the broadcast, and it looks like, and take this as a compliment, it looks like organized chaos, because you're just like, here's the paper, I got to read it. Next thing, it's like, back and forth, back and forth. It's like,
it's
you
a well-oiled machine.
It's
a well-oiled machine, but it is.
So it definitely takes a skill to be able to do all that.
Yeah, this year is the first year, actually, I've been doing reads for commercials. So if you hear during the broadcast me talk about ticketsforless.com or Hy-Vee or Yingling or, different sponsors that are during the game. Like, those are little reads that they hand to me, and they're like, okay, we got a few extra seconds. Danan, go ahead and do your read. So I got to read through it real quick, and then Mitch starts to play, and so on. So, like, you have to have – it's got to be a well-oiled machine, and you have to have some good synergy. You have to have energy. Because we're talking to the soccer moms, the baseball dads, the truckers, people like yourself that are maybe driving from one place to another, people going to grocery stores and they're listening. Like, we're talking to all those people.
Yeah.
And then there are people that, and I get this on Twitter, I get text messages, social media, we mute the TV and we listen to the broadcast. My wife does it.
I used to do that when I was in high school. We would always go to Buddy's game and we listened to the games on the radio because it's a little bit more excitement.
Yeah, because you're hearing a little bit more in-depth stuff about your home team. So that's a cool dynamic as well.
That's a good way to put it, because, like, when you're listening to the game on TV, they're not hometown people.
Yeah.
You're on the radio, like, that's everything you want to hear.
Exactly.
They're not going to be like, oh, touchdown Phillip Rivers, like, he's blah, 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 blah. You're like, no, I want to, like, I can't believe they scored again. Like, the
and
Chiefs
some of the insight that even though they do a great job, the Tony Romos, the Troy Aikmans, all those guys do a great job, there's still just a different nuance when you're the hometown broadcast. Like, we're not biased by any way. Like, during the years of Todd Haley and 2-14 and 4-12,
rough years,
and Romeo Crennel, like, I praised Kendall Gammon and Len Dawson because they were calling trash. Like, that's what it was. It wasn't good football, and you can't lose your integrity by trying to paint roses over things. Like they say now, what is it? Putting lipstick on a pig. Like, you can't do it and have any integrity. So there's ways to say it. Like, I'm not going to say that dude is garbage. He shouldn't be on the team.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to say that.
Yeah.
But what you are going to say is that's just not winning football.
Yeah.
That's not the caliber of football that's going to get us a championship or going to get us a Super Bowl. Like, those are the things you can say. So, digging deep into the thesaurus.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah.
And like I take that as a challenge that I got to paint the picture of what's on the field. Sometimes that's not as rosy as we would like in Chiefs Kingdom. Fortunately, for the most part, it has been.
Yeah.
And we're spoiled. I'm spoiled. And
We are
I'm loving
spoiled,
it.
and I love every single second
Every
of
moment.
it. Yeah. I don't mind people like, oh, you got some new Patriots. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got tired of seeing the Patriots win, and I will not
Exactly.
get tired of seeing the Chiefs win.
You can get tired of
Yes,
us.
get tired
all
of
you
us.
want. I'm not going to get tired
Yeah.
of it.
So how did you get involved with the Chiefs ambassadors?
So the Chiefs ambassadors are a very unique group. We're the only team in the NFL. All 32 teams have alumni. You have players that have played for your team that stay in your city. The Chiefs are the only team that has a Chiefs ambassador group that stays connected to the organization, does charity work in the community, speaking engagements, public appearances. We raise money and give a lot of money away to worthy causes around the Chiefs Kingdom. We support Big Brothers Big Sisters, Kids TLC. I hate that I started naming because there's 50 other organizations that we donate money to. So it's great to be a part of. I'm the director. Kendall Gammon is the director-elect, so he'll be rotating into my position in next year. Keith Cash is the communications director. So we do have hierarchy.
Yeah.
And then we are consisted of 59 former Chiefs. You had to have played for the Chiefs for at least 3 years.
Yeah.
We have guys within the organization, the Chiefs ambassadors, that played for the Dallas Texans. So we got 60 years, over 60 years of guys that are represented in the Chiefs ambassador. Jerry Cornelison played for the Dallas Texans. Bobby Bell is a part of it. Jan Stenerud. All the way fast forward to guys like Tom Bahali, who just joined.
Yeah.
So it's a great kind of fraternity. If you ask most players, if not all players, they don't necessarily miss the physicality of the game. They miss the camaraderie.
Yep.
And that's what the Chiefs ambassadors do. We get together at least once a month. We have a meeting the first Wednesday of every month. We see each other at games. We have other social events. We'll get together and smoke some cigars.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if you see a group of us come here to the shop.
Bring them on down. Yeah.
Got to come support you. And we just hang out.
Yeah.
And from a mental standpoint, emotional standpoint, supporting standpoint, guys are going through different walks of life, different things, different changes, health issues. Like we're all there for each other like we were as teammates.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. So what does family life look like right now?
Family life is cool. I'm married, just celebrated 30 years in marriage.
Congrats.
Thank you. We got 5 kids, 4 grandkids.
Like grandpa.
Yes, I'm Duke. So I'm Duke. My wife is Mimi. We weren't ready to be grandma and grandpa. We weren't ready for that. So we're Mimi and Duke. All of my kids and grandkids live here in Kansas City, except for my son, who's a doctor in Wichita.
Wow.
So he's got my wife's brains. I know that. I know my role. Like as an analyst, I can analyze myself. If you're a doctor in my family, it's not from me. So I
You gotta take some credit.
Well, he played college basketball, so I'll take credit for the jump shot.
I got you.
He got the athletic ability from me, but the brains and the studying and all that, that's my wife. I'm totally comfortable saying that. But I've been blessed, man. We've been in the Kansas City community since '93.
Yeah.
And this is home.
Yeah.
My wife's from Jersey. I'm from Jersey, but we've made this home, and we're set with our church home here in Kansas City. Our kids, they're schooling. My youngest is 24. Oldest is 38. So we've been very fortunate, man. It's been blessed.
Good. And we're glad to have you in Kansas City. It's always good to hear when, the former players come back to Kansas City and choose to live.
Well, this is it, man. I mean, there's a lot. And I'm glad you made that point because there are a lot of guys that have made their home in Kansas City that have come from different places. The Chiefs ambassadors, there's a whole host of alumni that are not Chiefs ambassadors that still make their home in Kansas City. We get together with the NFLPA, Chase Kaufman, former Mizzou great, who was from Ray-Pec,
Yep.
is the president of the NFLPA for the Kansas City region.
Is he?
We have the NFL alumni that's here as well. So we get together, not just the fraternity of the former Chiefs, but there are other guys. Chase never played for the Chiefs, but he's still a part of our fraternity.
Yeah.
So we get together with all of those guys, and it's amazing how many guys have made their footprint and stayed within the footprint of Kansas City as their home.
So we got like 10, 15 minutes left. So I'm going to ask you like this.
Let me get that lighter again.
Oh, you're good. You're good. So I want you to think about this. So what is your favorite NFL moment? And it could be player or broadcaster.
Ooh. So I'll give you both. I don't know if I have a favorite as a player. I caught a touchdown from a Hall of Famer who wasn't a quarterback. Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen threw me a touchdown on Monday Night Football against the Steelers. That was a highlight. My first touchdown ever in the NFL was against the Giants. That was a highlight because I grew up in Giants territory in Jersey. So that's a highlight. Like I mentioned earlier about being thrust into NFL play on Monday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills during their reign of the AFC. That's a highlight. Being a 4-time captain.
Yeah.
Going out to the coin toss. I got a picture in my basement of me being at center field at the coin toss with Joe Montana, Marcus Allen, Neil Smith, Dan Marino, like Hall of Famers all around. And I'm like, who doesn't belong in this picture? Me. I'm like the second year in the league, and I'm out at the coin toss and being able to lead the team and in that role for 4 years is a highlight. So from a player standpoint, there's so many that's on the list. Playing with the great guys that I played with and having those relationships and the brotherhood to this day is definitely a highlight. Off the field highlight. I've broadcast 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
That's great. But I will tell you the one Super Bowl that I didn't broadcast is probably the highest highlight of my career sports-wise, and here's why. Chiefs, as we know, in the Chiefs Kingdom, we went 50 years without going to a Super Bowl.
Yep.
I'm doing pregame and postgame shows for KCTV5 at the time, and we're down in Miami. We're at the stadium. Was it Hard Rock Stadium, I believe it is?
Yep.
At the stadium. I am there. I did the pregame show. Now I'm sitting in the stands as a fan.
Yeah.
All of the ambassadors are in the same area. The Chiefs, Mitch makes the call into eternity. Williams, was it Darrell Williams? I think it was. Runs down the sideline, and he runs to eternity.
Yep.
And all the fans are going crazy. I'm getting goosebumps even talking about it. Going crazy. And I look across at all my former teammates and former ambassadors, and we're all quiet. We're crying. Some of us are crying. We're hugging each other because we realize, 1, how special it is to be here in Kansas City. 2, we didn't deliver what they're delivering for you guys. And there's no other fan base that deserved it more than the Chiefs fan base.
Yeah.
And to be a part of that in the stands, to be crying and hugging with other ambassadors, because we recognize that finally there was a team that got to deliver something to the greatest fan base ever.
Yeah.
And we're witnessing it in the stands. And that was the utmost highlight for me, to be able to, like, let's be real. Like, we were part of some debilitating times as Chiefs fans that still supported us.
Yep.
That still came out, that supported us after our careers, golf tournaments, fundraisers, public appearances, speaking engagements, all of that. They still supported us, even though we hurt their feelings every single year. And to be a part of that in that capacity, on that stage for the first time in that fashion, was by far the highest highlight of my sports career.
Oh, that would have been awesome to see.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. So now my next question is, I guess, what was your, because everyone's got one, your welcome to the NFL moment?
Oh, man.
I don't know if you listened to Dante Hall's podcast on here.
Yeah.
And his was wild. So not to interrupt, but the whole do you know like his first year when he choked out Gunther?
Yeah, that's what I think I heard that story. Or you may have shared it with me before about him getting in a fight with Gunther.
Yeah, I was not expecting that from him. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. But I guess what was yours?
I think maybe that fight I had with Dale Carter would have been the first experience at the NFL level. And I was a gritty player in college. I got in fights all the time, but at the NFL level, like you're playing with grown men and family men, and you're just a runny nose rookie. I will say the business side. When I realized about the business of the NFL was my rookie year when I got drafted. Neil Smith held out. He was a holdout that entire offseason. He was trying to get a new contract, more money. And, you grow up playing football where you need to be at every practice. You need to be at every offseason workout. You need to be, it's essential that you are here all the time and you got to show up and two-a-days and practices and meetings and all of that and training and weightlifting and all that stuff all throughout the year. And Neil is not around. The Wednesday before we played our first game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers my rookie year, Neil signs and shows up, and he starts on Sunday.
Oh, Jesus.
And I said, so this is how
we do it?
This is how it works in the NFL. This is business side now because I've been trained and brainwashed to believe that you got to show up to everything to play.
Yeah.
I guess you don't.
No.
I guess that's not the case. So that was the funny part of it, recognizing, okay, this is a business now. This is our job. We're no longer student athletes. There's a component that you got to work through, and you got to, sometimes it's selfless, sometimes it's selfish. That's why you'll never hear me broadcast, my radio show, otherwise, ever diss a player for holding out. It's a business. It's a ruthless business. One component back then, and still to this day, I used to walk into the locker room, and the first thing I did was look up at the locker to see if my name was still up there.
Yeah.
Because you could be cut any day, and your career could be over.
Yeah, that's crazy. So my next question is, I know you broadcast it. You played at a lot of stadiums. You broadcasted a lot of stadiums. Other than Arrowhead, what's your favorite stadium to go to?
Well, now as a broadcaster, and I hate to say it, but it's apropos for this week, it's the Raiders, Las Vegas.
But we're just talking about stadium. We're not talking about teams, so you're good.
Yeah, so stadium, again, I hate to give them props, but it is the best stadium experience in the league. It's the most convenient stadium. I have said we won our last Super Bowl at that stadium. By the way, we've won more postseason games at that stadium than the actual team.
And it's great that we won the first Super Bowl or that ever got hosted there. Yes. We won it.
And I would plead to the NFL that they should have the Super Bowl there every 4 years at least. Maybe every other year. It's just a great venue. It's another thing that's in that city. So it's not like it's taking up everything. You still got all the other bells and whistles that Vegas offers, but it was a great experience there. It's a great stadium. It's second to Arrowhead, obviously. From a playing standpoint, it was fun to go back to Jersey and play against the Giants back then in Giant Stadium. I played there in college once, my senior year for the Kickoff Classic, and then I got to play there once against the Giants through my 6 years. So going back there was cool. Other than that, those are the two places.
Yeah, and hopefully when we get our new stadium, either Kansas, Missouri, they got to figure that out. That we can host some Super Bowls here too.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
it would have been nice to get that rolling roof years ago when it didn't pass, and people get freaked out when you start talking about taxpayers, but it would have probably been pennies on the dollar when you look back at what it could have been. Based on tourism and concerts.
Especially what everything's going to cost now.
Yeah. So we missed the boat on that. Not throwing any shade to the voters, but you dropped the ball there. Just saying.
All right, my last question, and talk about the Chiefs like we did earlier. What do you think they're going to do this year?
I think the bar has been set. Like, it doesn't matter how we started, it's how we finish. We're used to AFC championships and Super Bowls.
Like Nick Wright calls it, the Arrowhead Invitational.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yep.
And until somebody unseats us, I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility that we go back. And I don't think it should be outside of the mindset of Chiefs fans that we represent the AFC again this year. It'll be in San Francisco, and we'll be out there. Like, people have always asked me this question, especially in the off seasons when I get calls from different radio stations and different fan bases. Like, what's your prediction? I know they want a number, 14-3, 13-4, 11-6, whatever it is. But I say this: if God had his hand over the entire NFL before the season started, and there wasn't one injury that happened to any team, any player in the NFL, would you want to face the Chiefs?
Yeah.
No. Nobody in their right mind. I don't care who's playing. Jamar Chase, who doesn't want to say our name.
Don't want to say Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, don't want to say Patrick Mahomes. You can Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen. Nobody would want to choose to play the Chiefs in January, and that's what we're going to be. We're 3-3 right now. Refresh on the season. Rashee Rice back, hitting our stride. I like where we are, and I look forward to broadcasting another Super Bowl.
Yeah, I hope and pray. I'm going to be calling you like, hey, we did it.
Yes, sir. Might as well. I have 3 Super Bowl rings. I got. Besides my wedding ring, so what is that? 6 more fingers? So I might as well keep them going.
Keep them coming. And I always tell people, I like going back to like the number, like how many wins you're gonna, they're gonna do. I don't think it matters to that. It's just like as long as we get to the playoffs, that's all that matters, because they've proven they can be the 1 seed, the 5 seed, the 7 seed. It don't matter. They can go away from Arrowhead. They can win. They can win at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
As long as they get there, because it's a brand new season, and Pat and Andy and all them, they just. That January football, they just turn it on.
And think about how much pressure it is on opponents. Yep. Even if we get in at 11-6,
that's
and
the
we're
most dangerous 7 seed. Yeah.
But you got to look across that field, and Andy Reid, and Patrick Mahomes, and Travis Kelce, and Chris Jones, and Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy.
Yep.
You got to look across that field on that game. It's not a 3-game series.
Nope.
Not a 7-game series. It's one game. You got to look across that field. No matter how they got there.
Yep. And who you going to bet
on?
Wild
card, you got to look across that field, and you got to match them 60 minutes.
Yep.
Nobody's signing up for that.
Nobody. Well, Danan, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Problem,
it's been
brother.
my pleasure, man.
Yeah.
I love talking to you. I know I can go on for hours.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
This is fun. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So before we end, tell people like where they can find you. You know, you got your radio show. I know you got Instagram and all that stuff. So.
Should I give my MySpace?
You could, if you got it still.
I don't got no MySpace. I should reinvent that. You can follow me on Twitter /X at DAHughesGuy83, on Instagram at Danan Hughes, Facebook Danan Hughes as well. I have my own radio show. You can tune in to Odyssey on every Thursday night from 6 to 7 p.m. Central Time. I have my show Players Only. You can go into the Odyssey app and listen to back episodes of that. It's an hour-long show, only players that are speaking on there. And then the Chiefs Radio broadcast for the Chiefs Radio Network. Tune in to us, mute your TVs, listen to us on the radio, 96.5. We have a 3-hour pregame show, and then the broadcast and postgame show after that, postgame interviews, I should say, as well. And then my main job, Community America Credit Union. If you're looking for a home mortgage, residential home mortgage,
hit them up.
Give me a call, hit me up. I'll be happy to help.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you.
All right.
Yeah, thank you. And like always, good luck to you and the rest of the team. Like,
thank you,
I'm
man.
The biggest Chiefs fan, so
appreciate
I'm
it. Appreciate you having me, giving me
yes.
this platform, and let me come out to this cool spot.
I appreciate that, and I hope to see you soon with the ambassadors.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at Strawberry Hill Podcast, and we will catch you next episode. We're out.